Hey guys, it's Tombox. Thanks for tuning into MST.TV. And for this video, to keep it short, we're going to be demonstrating 5 different combos executed with 5 meta decks. So one combo for each. These are probably the best, or at least my favorite combo within each of these decks. And these are meta decks. So the decks that we're going to be going through today would be Synchro Eldlich. We have also Adamancipators, the new variant with the new extra deck with Link Cross and Marcher as well. And then we have Madolche. I'm not going to neglect them. They've been doing very well. They hit a top 8 in the recent tournament as well. One of these online tournaments. It's not easy to play in them. They're quite hard. And then there's also Salamangreat. They've got 1 card OTKs. I find it very fun, and especially when I played against a Schattenspieler on the remote duel. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. We did a full-on remote duel it looks really good to a lot of people. So you guys can check out that video. And we're gonna check out a dinosaur combo because dinosaurs, they're very scary, especially with new Argos right now. I think these are some of the strongest decks available right now that you can play. And if you're gonna be joining any of these tournaments online, you should at least know what these decks are able to execute so that you can disrupt them at the right time. You don't waste your hand traps, and it's all in all, you can go ahead and scrub through this combo just to identify pain points that you could potentially throw your hand traps at. And if you guys are gonna enjoy these kinds of videos, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding notification bell, and that's all I really got. So let's just jump into it, and check out my Patreon if you guys want to help support this channel. Let's do it. Okay, for Synchro Eldlich, the main difference right now is that they play the Jet Synchron combo. So one Jet Synchron will basically spit out double negations through the Aurora Dawn combo that Adamancipators used to use. So looking into the first play, I'm going to use tuning. The deck plays triple tuning now because it also mills a card into the deck. If it mills into the graveyard one of your Elixirs or one of your Golden Land cards, you're going to be able to activate some of these during your turn. So we're going to add the Jet Synchron to your hand. And what do we mill? We milled, we did benefit off of that mill. We got ourselves a Hakero, which means we have a Sanguine in our hand. Although we already have double Sanguine, that's cool too. That means we can throw that into the graveyard later, and we can set it up ourselves, and we can get the Golden Land forever. So now we're going to do the normal summon right here, and we're going to link summon that into a link 1, Link Karibo, and we're going to summon back our Jet Synchron. I think Conquistador has a little bit more of a benefit to keep it on our hand because we are able to pop a card during our opponent's turn, so we can just get rid of a Sanguine right now and we get our Jet Synchron back. So that's like a nice synergy. It's like how they used to use, say, the Magician's Soul to put these cards into the graveyard. This is a similar deal. Rather than drawing cards, we're setting up double negation. And next we go into Crystron Heckle Firebrax. We're going to activate the effect. We're going to get Despot because we already lost our Jet Synchron, so we're going to use Despot. Despot is just free summon, and there's a lot of other tuners like, of course, Ash. Now we go into the Aurora Dawn, and yeah, we can go ahead and activate. Now, don't activate anything that will lock you into zombies. That comes afterwards, and you just have to manage your resources properly. I think with Dragma coming out, you should learn how to manage your resources. Seems like there's a lot more decks with a lot more locks now. And okay, go ahead and summon out your triple token here. And this hand's actually pretty decent. And now we're gonna activate our Despot 1. Would I activate another card? Not yet. I don't wanna be banishing anything from my graveyard just yet, okay? We can now activate Aurora Dawn, get rid of the 2 cards. We can't link summon anymore, but we don't really care because link summoning isn't really our thing. If we had an extra body, I might have kept the Aurora Dawn. We would have less negates, but you have a bigger body, and Aurora Dawn naturally can pop a card in the field, which is a bit more threatening if it does survive. Now we got into our O-Lion, okay? And O-Lion, we're gonna go into Borreload Savage Dragon. This card is amazing. Savage Strike was such a great set to offer this card to us. Chainlink 1, we're gonna do the Borreload Savage Dragon, and then we're gonna do Chainlink 2, activate the O-Lion to give us a token. And we're gonna summon out the token. And we're going to put Aurora Dawn, making this monster 4,050. This is very threatening already, and just to mess with our opponent's graveyard a little bit more, or rather mess with their deck and hand, we're going to summon out our second negation, which is Herald of the Arclight, which does destroy. So your opponent has to clear through this before they can throw anything into the graveyard. Really messes up with Shaddoll because none of their stuff will proc. And next, we also have more cards to play. Now, since we've just set up our board here, we can go ahead and activate our Elixir, and we can set up a Golden Land forever. So now we have Counter Trap. We definitely already have our Eldlich, because we have this, and we have a pop on the field. So depending on what your hand is, like there's also like Curse to Eldland that can help you set up your board as well. Make sure you send it to the graveyard as soon as you can so that you can kind of get that set up. You can put your Eldlich into the graveyard. Don't start sending stuff after you put out Herald of the Arclight. That's where you kind of mess up your own combo, and this combo doesn't end until the end phase. So once you pass your turn, there's of course stuff that you can activate in the graveyard, which is the Hakero. We can just get ourselves, if we want to, well, let's get White Destiny because we can. So we have more stuff that we can actually reuse during the turn after. So now that we pass turn, this is basically the same Eldlich stuff. Now, if during your opponent's turn, of course, you just want to set up this particular card. So you're going to use Scarlet Sanguine, set this one up, put it in defense mode. So you have, to break it down, we have a 4K beat stick that does offer you an Omni Negate. You have a second Omni Negate also available, and you have, I guess, a third Omni Negate in the form of a counter trap. You have a pop on the field. You have, or depending on what your hand is, in this case, I still have an Ash Blossom Joy of Spring, and I also have a White Destiny to revive some cards. And at the end of all of this, if it comes back to my turn, I'll have a lot of resources to play during my opponent's turn. And also with Herald of the Arclight, your opponent can't send stuff from the hand or deck to the graveyard because they'll get banished. So they have such awkward tempo to handle your plays within the phases that they are given. So this is Synchro Eldlich. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so on the Adamancipator combo post Eternity Code, change in the extra deck, there's Metal Marcher and there's a Link Cross. It's very interesting because it can push really, really far, but it also has a little bit of RNG involved at this point. You can minimize it by putting in a Link Spider, but if you put in a Link Spider, you're gonna lose a lot of utility. At least you can lose utility in some faction in the extra deck. So let's start off with the combo. All it requires is a monster plus a tuner. So I'm going to execute it the normal way here. I'm gonna ignore everything else in the hand. And let's see if I whiff. I did not whiff. I already hit one target. I got the Dodo Dwarf. I got the Go-Go Glove. Okay, that's cool. I would like to keep the rock on the field just because it's just a bit nicer. And this is how you kind of execute it, guys. So you just go into the Christian Hack Firebrax, activate the effect, and you're going to summon out the O-Lion. From the O-Lion, I go into Link Cross. Keep this zone open as much as you can because is just a nice to have. And remember that the tokens that you summon out from Link Cross, they cannot be used as link material, which is why I personally would prefer to get rid of them. And okay, so now that we have the extra level 4 body, this is one of the best parts when you do have the extra body. You sometimes won't have the body and you have to do a slightly different combo to kind of push what you want. You can maybe get into the Dragon Buster Sword. That would be really ideal, but right now we're just gonna go into the Metal Marcher using the level 2 tuner and the level 1 token, and we're gonna activate the effect of the Metal Marcher. You can't get the Researcher back. I'm gonna go with the O-Line. In the case that you don't have anything, you need the O-Line, you need the double win to get into Union Carrier, and we're gonna activate the effect of the O-Line to generate another win token. That's gonna give us access to Raptite pretty easily, in fact. Either way, I'm gonna put that one right there because that opens that zone. So 2 ways to go into Raptite. If you are going to link it off anyway, then you should probably use the Metal Marcher, and if you need that level 1 token, I don't know why you would need that level 1 token, but I guess you can go into a copy of Unicorn later on during your opponent's turn if you have IP Masquerena. Right now, we probably have to get rid of some of this stuff. We have to go into the Raptite, so it gives us a choice. Since we already have the extender, we could play it safe. If you can play it safe, you should probably play it safe. Let's put it that way. So if you can play it safe, you would probably take this card, go into the Herald of Arclight here, and then go into Raptite with the additional body here. That's a possibility. That's an option. I'm just gonna avoid that option right now. I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Instead, I'm just gonna see what I am going to push into by using these guys. All right, so I have a non-tuner Raptite. This gives it so that I can go ahead and push, see what I get here. I did get a tuner. Yes, I would like to special summon an excavated rock. In fact, this is actually pretty cool. This is very ideal for me. Well, okay, I hit a Gigas too. So you can keep pushing. Of course, the RNG factor right now, I have paid my tribute to Exodia. It's good. And I have another level 4. Well, that changes things for me completely. I'm probably going to, I'm totally greeting this one right now. I'm definitely just going into like granite right here. But this is basically the point of the combo where it can deviate like really crazy depending on what you already have in your hand. If you already have a block dragon, you should probably lock your opponent out with an extra deck, and that's what I'm gonna attempt to do right here. This is the one combo that has a lot more RNG. This is why it's, I don't know, it's my favorite combo, yet it is also the most unstable combo to some degree. And let's just put this in the grave. And let's add to our hand a block dragon, which allows us to push further, and then we can actually summon out the block dragon. And with that, well, let's set up our negation. Actually, before we set up the negation, let's play with a little bit more body here. Let's get rid of the stuff in the graveyard. Summon out the block dragon, and now we can go into an IP Masquerena, or rather, let's go into Union Carrier. Sorry, because I'm pretty greedy. Using that to go there, we're going to trigger the effect of Block Dragon, get ourselves a copy of Researcher, Seeker, and the Gigantes. So we can spam them all out if we need to keep pushing. And let's go into our copy of our Negator, Borreload Savage. Yes. We're going to take the Question on Clipperbrax, activate Union Carrier, lock your opponent out from the extra deck. For the new Adamancipator combos, the end board has quite a bit of variations. Previously, already had a lot of variation. Even now, it has just as much. Where you can add with this current board, where you lock your opponent's extra deck, you have Borreload, Savage Dragon on the field, and an IP Masquerena. Block Dragon ready to go and give yourself more searches through IP Masquerena. Just tons of value as you push forward. And then you can also end the board with like Borreload Savage with a Dragite on the field and an IP Masquerena. You can just set up a bunch of negation against your opponent. It's just always available. It's very flexible. Adapt to your opponent, and that's why this is, well, the current favorite combo of this particular deck. Now, Madolche actually did really well in the recent online tournament. I think it finished within top 8. And that is amazing. I think it was top 8 within the PPG. So I'm gonna be showcasing to you guys the one card combo. My previous one card combo did not go all the way. This one is gonna go full on. It's gonna spit everything onto the field, and here's how it's gonna go down. So we're gonna start off with the Madolche, and then when I say everything, I mean you're gonna burn out quite a few cards. Now we're gonna add the Petting Cessor into your hand, and we're going to activate the Petting Cessor, summon out the Petting Cessor. Doesn't really matter which mode it is. Activate the effect. Now we're going to summon out the Pudding Cess. Taking the Pudding Cess and the Madolche, we're going to make a Glass Souffle. Activate it, detach the Madolche. That's cool. Doesn't really matter what you target. Don't use the effect. You're going to save the effect for the second copy. And now we're going to go into Chocolate mode. All right. Now we're cooking. Now we're baking. Now we're gonna shuffle back in the Madolche. We're gonna activate the effect of Petting Cess or Chocolate a la mode. We're gonna detach the Glass Souffle, summon out the Angeli in attack position. And we're gonna activate the Angeli. And so a Hoot Kick that cannot be destroyed by battle, which is really good for holding the board. One of the best things about Madolches is that their stats are really, really big. Activate the effect of Hoot Kick, banish the monster, which is going to be Glass Souffle because that's an extra deck monster, so that we can summon out the Messenger Lotto. Messenger Lotto now has been summoned out, and we're going to activate its effect, getting the Field Spell. We're going to summon it once more by activating the Field Spell. This is basically a free summon. It's like a free summon from the deck, almost like an E-Telly now. And we're going to activate the Chocolate mode, and we're going to summon out a second copy of Messenger Lotto. And this is the part where I messed up previously, but I'm not going to mess it up this time. We're going to go into Salon now. And now that we have Salon in hand, we're going to activate Salon, and we're going to get everything. We're going to get Ticket and the Trap as well. So with this, we basically have our full setup to keep on extending. So the first thing to do is that we need a copy of the Glass Souffle. So we're going to take these two and put it here. Because we previously did not activate the effect. Now we're going to go into a Sistart. This is why Sistart is a very important part of the deck. We're going to take the Messenger Lotto and that, put them there. Now, because monsters were sent to the graveyard, we can now activate the Glass Souffle. And we're going to take these two and put them back in. Now, do you want to return to hand? No, you do not. That's going to activate, And now that's going to proc and give us ticket. So this is the ticket that was just fresh set. And now we can actually go into a second copy of our chocolate mode. Activate the effect. We're gonna put it back in the pudding cess. Guess you can technically put it in your hand. Sure, I guess. And now we can special summon out the Messenger Lotto once again, using its effect. Now we have Promenade. And you can actually tribute summon away that Messenger Lotto. And yeah, you can set the Promenade. And you can normal summon out the pudding cess if you want. You don't have to do that step. That step was just super extra so that they can't really swing into your monsters. But I think that part was unnecessary. If you have an additional copy of Madolche in your hand, then you can get the second normal summon of Madolche and add another card to your hand. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a major blockade here. These cards can't be destroyed because you have a Sistart pointing to an indestructible monster, and unfortunately you're not going to be immune to very many things, because if you had the additional Messenger Lotto on another card, then yes, I would probably summon out an additional copy of Glass Souffle. But in this case, my hand was just 4 spells and traps, but it's okay. You've got quite a few disruptions here, and I think I'm going to be able to survive the turn. That's why this deck is very scary, and especially when the rest of the extra deck in the current build, I believe, uses just a bunch of Super Poly targets. So that's Madolches. Okay, Salamangreat, I think my favorite combo for Salamangreat, of course, is their new OTK, which is a 1-card OTK, but it can get Nibiru'd. But if the field somehow opened up for them, or they have a spot on the side and they have the counter trap ready, then they will kill you through this, and it's really devastating. They can do it through 1 card or 2 cards. If they do it through 2 cards, they're going to need Gazelle and another card, but if they do 1 card, it's 4-mood Skipper. If you end your turn with a brick, you're just going to die to something that looks like this. It's thanks to the new cards of Parallel Exceeds, it gets pretty ridiculous. We're going to activate the effect of both these cards. Preferably this 4-mood Skipper should have been Chainlink 1, in my opinion, and so that one doesn't get negated. We're going to get the Parallel Exceeds, and we're going to get the Sanctuary. Now this doesn't activate it just yet. We're going to activate the Sanctuary, and we're just going to Link Summon once again. And that's going to trigger our Parallel Exceeds, giving us a free summon into the arrow it points to. And whenever it's special or normal, it summons out another copy of itself from the deck, which is great. It's level 8, but it converts itself to a level 4, which makes it a quick, easy Bagooska for anyone playing Salamangreat. But that's not what we're here for. We're going to go into an Update Jammer, point to the Balinks. Now we're going to go into a Transcode Talker. Okay. Don't use, I think Update Jammer is once per turn, so don't use the Update Jammer just yet. Unless I'm wrong, maybe it's not. I don't think it is. But we don't need to use Update Jammer. And now that we have this set up, we have a Link 4, and now we can go into Access Code Talker. And we're gonna activate the effect of Update Jammer, and then we're gonna activate this one, therefore creating a bit of a block here. We're gonna target the Transcode. This can attack twice, making it 10,600 damage on its own. On top of that, it has its own monster effects to pop cards your opponent controls. So how many pops do I have? I have Wind, Fire, and Earth. So that's 3 pops that cannot be negated because your opponent cannot respond to that card. So you have 3 Dark Arm Dragon pop. This is basically a Dark Arm Link. You pop 3 cards and you can punch for 10k. And this is really easy. You can even execute this using the regular combo in Salamangreat because you're just a bunch of cybers. So as long as you can spit out a Link 3, you can get to this combo. And that's why it's so scary, and that's why if you burn your resources incorrectly, they can go into Access Code Talker and kill you. And this is probably one of their most common kill combos. And you know how Salamangreats used to not really have a very successful OTK record? They were more of a control deck. Yeah, they also now can OTK you as well. Last combo here is going to be Dinosaur combo. This one was featured by Team Samurai X1. This is probably my favorite Dinosaur combo, although this is not the only thing they can do. This is the high risk, high reward combo. If you open the wrong hand, a couple of pieces in your hand, you can't do this combo anymore. That's why it's high risk, high reward. But if you are able to execute it, you're able to generate a lot of pluses and lock your opponent into VFD. But it also have the weaknesses of maybe you'll get Nibiru'd because there's a point in the combo where you just don't have any any dinosaurs on the field, even if you are protected by Miscellaneousaurus. So starting off with the combo, you need Miscellaneousaurus and a baby Ceratosaurus, and with that you start off with the Miscellaneous and activate it, get your new dude, the Jewel Beast, or not Jewel Beast, but the Adamancipator Archosaur, and you summon him out. Effect of Archosaur, it pops a card, gives you additional Dino Evolution Pill, or Double Evolution Pill, sorry, and that's going to proc off the Baby Ceratosaurus. Baby Ceratosaurus effect, we're going to summon out the Soul Eating Oviraptor, and that's going to add to our hand one card. We're going to add to your hand because we need to summon it. We're going to get ourselves a Baby Ceratosaurus. And we haven't normal summoned yet, so that's why it's a really good start. And if your opponent blows off a couple of hand traps, if you have other ways to extend, this is the time to do so. And now you can summon out the Baby Ceratosaurus, activate the effect of the Soul Eating Oviraptor. We're gonna pop the Baby Ceratosaurus, summon out the Baby Ceratosaurus, and second Baby Ceratosaurus effect is gonna activate, not once per turn, of course. And we're gonna get ourselves our tuner onto the field, our Direct YOLO. You don't want to open this card in your hand. If you open within your hand, you can't do it anymore, which is one of the area of high risk and potential high area of bricking. But if you don't have it, then you just execute some other combo. You have True King cards to actually get into the True King VFD. Now with this, we're going to take the two lowest level monsters and we're going to turn them into Christian Cliffobrax. Using that effect, now we're going to summon out the Jet Synchron, because it's more or less free. And from here, we're going to turn it into a Link Cross. Link Cross. This card is probably, I don't know, probably deserves some level of hit, or it's going to be the reason why Christian Cliffobrax gets banned. That and all the tuners. It seems like that is a bit of a mesh of a pool of cards that you probably shouldn't invest too much into. Anyways, let's start into the Link Cross. We're going to activate the effect, summon out two, not one, but two tokens, level 1, and they cannot be used as link material, which is fine because now we get to add a card to your hand anyway by drawing with our Synchron. And with that, we're going to be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Draw a card, please. And okay. Next, we're going to have to activate And next, we're gonna go ahead and synchro into our Metal Marcher. This is gonna give us back our card of our Formula Synchron. That's the reason why we're actually summoning this one. And we're gonna get our Formula Synchron. And with all our tuners, we have a bunch of machines. We need another machine back onto the field so that we can go into Auroradon. And to do so, we just have to get rid of our cards right here. It doesn't really make a difference which one you use here. And now we can go into our Auroradon. Now we don't need to use our links anymore. Activate the effect, summon a bunch of tokens. Activate the effect of Auroradon. Let's get rid of himself. Let's get rid of the Mecha Phantom Beast. And summon out the O-Lion. Again, you probably can't open O-Lion because, again, high risk, high reward. Don't even bother trying if you're missing the Direct YOLO or the O-Lion, because you should just do a more generic dinosaur play instead, in my opinion. Because what are you doing it for anyway? So using that, now we can go into Trish. Trish is pretty cool. We're gonna summon out the token, and now we're gonna summon out the Jet Synchron, getting rid of the card that we just added to our hand, whichever it was. I think it was this one. In this case, if I really want to extend, I'd probably get rid of the Diagram of all things. I guess Diagram could push out another monster. I get rid of Diagram. Let's go with the Jet Synchron. Make a Crocosaur because Crocosaur is busted. My favorite Synchro monster from the set. Draw 3 cards. Okay, here's the part of the combo where I'm like, yes, you could technically go into a VFD right here. or you can, depending on your hand, I would personally keep this card on the field. I would not get rid of it because it's just that good. So in any case, let's just get ourselves a couple of extra cards to play with. See what else you can do. Now we're really just pushing the envelope here. And let's see what we can summon here. We're gonna pop this and that. Summon this dude out. That's pretty cool. And that's gonna summon out our copy of Giant Rex. Do I want a Giant Rex right now? I don't think so. Although I don't mind putting him in the graveyard, since he can get popped anyway. And then you can probably do more stuff. I'm not really thinking right now. True King of all calamities. Let's just take these two because I like that card. That card is a disruption. Let's put that in defense mode and activate. Let's get rid of a dinosaur. Doesn't really matter what I get rid of here. And you can go for like an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Let's go to Quatless. Quatless gives us a bit of a negation. Now we have Disruption negation, and we don't let them play. And if we actually activated Lost World earlier, then we would have given them a token as well. So then they can't really target our cards as well. So that's kind of the rundown of this combo. You get to VFD your opponent. You can extend further than that, but basically you get VFD and the Quatless. Everything else is additional sprinkle on top. And yeah, that's the rundown. And that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed learning 5 different combos from 5 different decks, well, hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding notification bell. These are, in my opinion, the strongest decks of the format right now. I know Orcus could have easily been on this list. I know there's like a lot of other decks, like Pendulums could have been here as well, but these are the ones that I fancy the most. And this is my video. I'm just pushing that out there for now, but you know, don't be surprised if you see Orcus or any of those other decks around as well. That's all I got for this one, so make sure you guys hit thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it, hit subscribe, ding notification bell if you want to stay up to date with more videos from myself or from Nishi. Appreciate you guys for sticking around, and I might try remote duel some more in the near future. And well, that's all I got for this one, guys. If you guys want to help support this channel, check out my TCG player link and all the other stuff I'm supposed to plug. I really suck at plugging stuff. And Millennium Chicken and Tom Box, signing out.